Good morning. Welcome faculty, staff, and invited guests to our fall convocation in celebration of 50 years serving Northwest Ohio. We are very proud of our tradition of providing education leading to family-sustaining wages and strengthening the wonderful communities here in Northwest Ohio. Today is a celebration of our past, a focus for our current direction, and a roadmap for a sustained future. To start our convocation, we will hear from one of our distinguished alumni, A.J. Genter. After listening to his journey, we will debut a 50th year video celebrating our accomplishments. Finally, President Thomson will detail our current direction and chart our vision for our future. Our distinguished alumni, A.J. Genter, is a 2003 graduate with an Associate of Applied Business degree in Business Management. Mr. Genter went on to obtain his Bachelor of Science degree in Agriculture with a major in Agribusiness and Applied Economics in 2005 from The Ohio State University. Andrew is currently the Vice President, Agriculture Banker at First Federal Bank in Wauseon. He is also the owner-operator of Genter Showstock, as well as owning and operating an animal bedding business with delivery available nationwide. AJ resides in Archbold, Ohio, and is a member of the Fulton County Farm Bureau, past president of both Pettisville Park Board and Archbold Lions Club, a swine judge at national, state, and local shows, and an advisor to the Pettisville Ever Ready 4-H Club. Please provide a warm Northwest Ohio welcome to distinguished alumni A.J. Genter.
Well, good morning. It's certainly an honor and a privilege to be back at Northwest State Community College. Not a lot's changed because the guys still sit in the back row. They try to find the seat the farthest away from the faculty that they possibly can. And guys, I was one of those guys, so not a lot's changed. So certainly, and there's still front rows available. That was pretty much but I'm not sure. There's a lot of faculty in the back, and they always said, everybody move to the front. But they choose the back, so it's okay. It's exciting to be here. My journey is maybe just like everybody else's. It's not really that fancy. It's not that great, because in 2001 or 17 or 18 years ago, I was just an average kid in high school with average grades, really no plan or direction, because I thought, hey, I'm just going to hang out at the family farm. Grandpa's there, Dad's there. That's what my dad did, so I thought maybe that would just be my path. And you know, so I was in high school. It was an interesting time because I graduated, came home that summer, did a lot of horsing around, and some of the teachers maybe that are in the crowd that had me my first year at Northwest State Community College would say, man, that guy was rambunctious. And some would say he's still rambunctious. But anyways, I spent a lot of time that summer not having a plan or direction, and I think it was in early July when my mom finally came in one morning. I was eating breakfast, and she said, you know, what are you going to do with yourself? You've been home all summer. Maybe you should think about going to college. And I said, well, that's not my plan. And after plenty of persistence and guidance from my parents, they just said, just go to Northwest State and at least walk around with me and see what they have available. And so I came out and I toured, and I think the mission statement that Northwest State has is to serve by providing access to excellent and affordable education, training, and services that will improve the lives of individuals and strengthen communities. Says it best. This is a local institution that gives young people like myself that really didn't have a plan at first the opportunity to get a higher education. So when I came out and toured, and I thought, well, this can't be that bad. It's close to home. I can stay at home. I can still have the family farm and have that dream. It was pretty unique. The faculty and staff that I met with was very caring, and it seemed like they would have the best interest for a farm boy that didn't know what he wanted to do in my best interest to help. So I came out to Northwest State. It was a time that I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and it built a bedrock of knowledge The community college provided me with a plan and a very smooth transition to Ohio State. Because honestly, when I started at Northwest State, I didn't think that there would be, four-year school in my future. But I did it, I made it. Probably one of the most unique things and things that I'm happy about is the education that I received here, and just dealing with people and working with people has allowed me to accelerate my judging career. So I take what I learned here at Northwest State Community College and I travel all over the country. I was blessed this summer to judge the World Pork Expo, the Indiana State Fair, the Georgia National, and several others where I spend a lot of time away from my family and get to work with young people all across the United States. And so for the kids in the room, I always share one thing when I'm done judging and we go to select the grand champion. In this particular case, we're talking about young people and setting their paths for life. And I always say the first thing that you need to do is follow your passion. Whatever you care about, whatever makes you happy, find your passion and follow your passion. Once you find that, don't be afraid to set a goal and dream. Okay, you can have a dream and you can have a goal. There was a lot of people when I was a young boy, if you polled my high school class and the high school teachers and they said, will A.J. Genter do X, Y, Z? They'd probably laugh, chuckle. Maybe some would say maybe. My ag teacher would probably say he can do it, but the rest would probably say, eh. But I always knew that I could do it, so I followed my dream. I set goals. And there was a wise old man that I did some business with. He said, surround yourself with good people, work hard, have fun. From time to time, check the rearview mirror, but never look back. Full steam ahead. Good luck to all the kids in the room and the college students, faculty, staff, Dr. Thomson, Robin. Thank you for the opportunity. Remember, find your passion, follow your dreams. Thank you.
To truly appreciate the positive impact Northwest State Community College has had on our region, you need look no further than our wall of distinguished alumni. Every one of these individuals came to us as students, eager to learn and grow. When they graduated, they were prepared to make their mark on Northwest Ohio. They are nurses. They are engineers. They are educators. They are CEOs. And they are all NSCC proud. As we begin to celebrate 50 years of service, we need to take a look back and see how it all began. Northwest State Community College was founded when the Ohio Board of Regents approved the formation of 4 County Technical Institute in 1968. The college offered its first classes 1 year later. In 1972, the college moved to its current location and was renamed Northwest Technical College. In 1994, Northwest State officially became a community college. This enabled the college to offer Associate of Arts and Associate of Science programs that could easily transfer into a 4-year degree program at partnering colleges. Since that time, the Northwest State campus has continued to grow. Today, the college offers classes at the main campus in Archbold, Ohio, as well as various satellite locations. NSCC is as flexible as ever, providing students with online classes, hybrid classes, and even off-site training. Learning takes place everywhere, all the time, and we are always exploring new and innovative ways to make education and training easily accessible for students. Our mission statement is simple: to serve by providing access to excellent and affordable education, training, and services that will improve the lives of individuals and strengthen communities. A lot has changed in the past 50 years. Business and technology have rapidly evolved, and we live our lives at a much faster pace today than we ever have before. It's comforting to know that one institution has not only kept up with those changes, but has been a recognized leader in training and educating the workforce of today and tomorrow. That institution is Northwest State Community College, and I am absolutely NSCC proud.
That applause is, for me, very touching. Jim Bellamy behind that, that's really, really good work. And what really hits me is that I have the honor and privilege to stand on the shoulders and good work of many, many people done for many, many years. So it's an honor to be here today, an honor to talk at our fall convocation. I want to thank Chair Erb for wonderful opening remarks and fellow board members that are here. I also want to thank AJ for just, we're all about the journey, and your journey is, again, very powerful for us, reminds us of our connection and who we are. And we are very much providing access to people to an incredible, better life in this area. Really want to thank faculty, staff, and I know students, you didn't wake up this morning thinking, oh boy, I get to hear a convocation talk today. You probably woke up going, oh, where's my class? They moved it to where? Where's that auditorium? But we did feed you, which is always important, but I very much think that you're here and get to listen to this. So let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to speak a little bit. Basically, this is in three parts. And the first part you've already heard, which is the celebrating of our past. So today marks the opening of celebrating 50 years at NSCC, and this will continue all the way through till we honor the 50th anniversary of our first graduating class. And we'll have different types of events and activities spread throughout. And so this is an historic day in that sense that we're celebrating that 50. The second thing I'll talk about today is where are we right now, the four foci and kind of what we're focusing on. And at the end, as it mentions, charting our future, I'll talk a little bit about where we're headed and where community colleges are headed in general. So I really appreciate that we've done a good job, and I think I'll start there. And it's interesting, AJ mentions our mission, the video mentions our mission. I'm going to start by mentioning our mission. And the words that I bolded are purposeful. Northwest State Community College is a service organization. At the root of what we do, we serve. Education is what we provide. Individuals get that education, they improve their lives. The result of that process that I want to talk about today and really zero in on is that the result of this process is strengthening the communities in which we live in. For me, that's Defiance, and others here, that's Napoleon, or Bryan, or Stryker, or Van Wert, or Paulding, or Mount Pelier. Right? Don't forget Wauseon. Someone's going to name a city I forgot somewhere's in there. So, yeah, West Unity, I heard that. So we live in the very communities that we serve. So just keep that in mind as we kind of work our way through. And I use this a lot, and just to remind us of the who, we serve 192,000 people spread across 6 counties and around 77,000 families. And I would say, when we started our mission, I would call it a noble enterprise. We gave people access to what they couldn't get before, which was post-secondary education. And that education has transformed their lives. At the time we started that enterprise, I'll call it a noble enterprise, because if you didn't, AJ even mentioned it, I'll work on the family farm, right? I still have many other options. And today we zip forward 50 years. I would say quite strongly that is more than a noble enterprise. It is now the vital mission of a community college to help the cities in this area survive. So we are a vital partner for survival of the very communities that we live. And I just want to bring that home multiple times today. I do want to start off by saying that we serve our community well. So we have a playbook. You can kind of follow along. We handed these out. We are debuting this particular publication as well. And I'll put a few of the slides up. And I really want to thank Robin and her team for helping put this together. So at the heart of our mission is access. So 60 programs that we provide plus transfer opportunities. So community colleges have always been about access, access, access. So no matter where we go in our journey, we always have to come back to that touchstone. Can people get to us? Can people receive the education that they need? The second is that we are a high quality, and you hear me say this a lot, and the picture here is, I believe, one of the RN classes from this December, where one of many classes in various direct-to-job programs where 100% of the students in that class passed their accreditation exam on the first try. Now, these national exams, sometimes the pass rates are in the 80s. National pass rates in the 80s, 100% passing on the first try. So I think that's a message we have to say over and over again to those in the room and our colleagues that are our friends, to shout it to the rafters of Northwest Ohio, that Northwest State Community College provides a high-quality education. And as in most community colleges, half the nurses of this country come from community colleges, 90% of the first responders. So the people that keep us safe and the people that treat us when we are our most vulnerable come from us. We do a good job of that, a very good job of that. We're also affordable, and there are lots of ways to look at this, but college costs have become an increasingly significant factor for access in this country. So we have to constantly try to keep that cost as affordable as possible. For many families in Northwest Ohio, the cost of a public four-year education is now beyond their reach. And they come to us because they actually can't afford an education at a public four-year institution. Our alumni say over and over again, and that's why I appreciate AJ and what he said today, our alumni tell us that their lives have been changed, and we are now The alumni are now 10,000 plus strong and live in this area. So that's a good marker of the job that we're doing. I would mention our workforce development program. It does an incredibly good job. The map here shows you just how far-reaching we are in training people. So it serves Northwest Ohio, but also serves a much wider span. And a growing influence for us is our Transfer University Center, where we're providing those direct pathways to that 4-year education. And I'm most proud of the fact that the people of Northwest Ohio understand that their generous commitment helps keep even our low tuition is a burden for many of our students. The cost of transportation is a burden. The cost of babysitting is a burden. The cost of textbooks is a burden to many of our students. So raising $808,000 last year, giving over $660,000 away to 310 scholars in April, just marks how important it is for us to have community partnerships and to help keep that cost as affordable as possible. So with that, I just want to pause for a second. Just have you close your eyes and just kind of take all that. Take a good breath. Yeah, we've done a good job. 50 years of doing a good job. We rest on that thought. Right? Now, I'm going to go to part two, which is where are we right now? And what's interesting is that the communities that we serve are looking at some changing times, both right now and ahead. And we're one of the partners they're looking at to help them. Where at one time I called it that noble enterprise. It was great that AJ could come here. But again, Family Farm was still there. Now today, we need Northwest because I'm not going to have the workers that I need to keep the very businesses, second, third, fourth generation alive. In terms of housing, and when I talk to economic development people, we see people driving from Fort Wayne and Toledo to come to new jobs that we're creating in this area because we do not have enough housing stock in our cities. Unemployment is at 4.5% or lower, and in times of high employment, we know that enrollments go down. I think we understand those are integrally connected, but for our businesses, they really struggle with that, and that's becoming increasingly, and I want to pull a quote out that was from, let's see if I get this. All right, this is from Ohio Business, who just put out their university and college edition this morning. And the editor said, with unemployment low, talent development and retention has become a key issue for all Ohio businesses, all Ohio businesses. So, you know, times are changing in the sense that talent and getting people is becoming very, very difficult, and it's not going to get easier if you look at the demographics. So that, wherever I go in the community, that's a pressing conversation all the time, and the importance for us to be a good partner in that conversation. Education has now become what was kind of nice if you have it, has now become a minimum to be able to participate in our society. We look at mental health and health in general. Our society is getting older. Our society has opioids in it. We're in that part of the world where that is present. So our communities are changing. And I don't say that to scare you. It's just a fact of life. You live in these very spaces. But our communities are changing. And this is one of the ways I'm going to look at it. I really liked the video. I also thought this was fun. So this is from the 60s, when I see that people went to school and actually wore coats and ties. Take note of that, students, coats and ties. New dress code memo coming from the president. And here we are in the 70s, and I love the picture. You know, print is still king. You know, the internet has not yet been invented, so to speak. You know, that the world of the 70s is the world of ideas and paper and some technology, but not the world that we see today. Here we are in the 80s, and I do see the scruffy men with those very large little boxes hiding over there in the corner, and those are just the monitors. The actual machines behind them are huge. I would say that those machines cost thousands of dollars, and the phone that's in everybody's hand can outperform it in 3 seconds or less, right? I mean, just think about that. That what you hold in your hand, researchers had NSF grants for millions of dollars to be able to add, subtract, multiply, and divide quicker, right? But we can do it instantaneously. And here we are in the 90s. I like those, again, the machines, and you notice we moved to color. Yeah, we moved up into color here. And then here we are in the 2000s. And I thought it was good just to go through these from the sense that as we've grown, we've done a good job of meeting our community's needs. So I would say to you that this is a natural thing for us. We adapt to meet our community's changing needs. It's what we do. So when I talk about where we're going and what we're doing, some people go, well, you're talking about change and doing this and doing it. It's like, we've always done that. The reason we've been good at meeting our community's needs is we've adapted to meet them over time. Our communities are changing. We must adapt to help our communities find the workforce they need to compete in what is now a turbulent, global, techno-driven economy that they face. So they are very much, bless you, they are very much needing us to be their good partners. So we are not alone in this adventure. So I talk about Northwest Ohio all the time, but understand that we are one of 1,047 public, and there's 300 or 400 other non-public, I would say, community colleges. And in Reclaiming the Dream, they talked about a couple of issues that were very, very important. Employment preparation inadequately connects to job market needs. This is the theme of this entire report. Our roadmap for all community colleges is built on, and I'll repeat, employment preparation inadequately connects to job market needs. That's number one. And number two, the executive summary of this report, that there is a disconnect in the transition between high school, community college, and the baccalaureate institution. Now, those statements are still true. We're still working on those as a movement, and that's what the community college is. If you did not know, it's an American-made movement, and it's designed to help communities. So I say these words to say that we're all doing this together across the country. We aren't alone in the enterprise. But here are the two things again. We want to connect to job market needs, and we want to better connect the transition of high school to community college to baccalaureate. And so that roadmap is our roadmap of how we do things. So how do we respond to the changing needs of the community? Well, since I've come in, I think February is when I came and signed a contract and started holding conversations both internally and externally. Number one is you listen. And we've spent a lot of time listening to faculty, to staff, to students, and community members and board members, kind of listening for what do we need to do? How can we help you meet your needs? And we've boiled those down to about 18 different possible things that we could do that would make a big difference, not just a little difference, but a big difference. And then we responded with using what's called compression planning, and many of you participated in that, where you got to kind of put dots in or do an internet survey. We then checked in with our best practice partners, Education Advisory Board, the Ohio Student Success Center, also the AACC has one. So we've looked at how other partners in this movement have done things. And we've sat in retreats. I know Dean's Retreat did this, the Cabinet did this, the Board Retreat did this. So we've sat in various work groups and kind of looked over what people said and kind of pulled it together. And the result of our work is we have great goals, but we want to focus. Focus, focus, focus. Focus is the ability to sift through the many good things that we can do and select those few things that we choose to do that will make a real difference for the lives of our students and the health of our communities. I'll repeat that. It took me a while to write it. Focus is the ability to sift through the many good things that we can do and select those few things we choose to do that will make a real difference for the lives of our students and the health of our communities. So that's what focus is about. Choice of things that make a real difference. And community colleges, like many nonprofit organizations and even for-profit organizations, often it's a discipline because there are just so many good things you can do, so many. But doing many good things really keeps you from doing the really high impact things that our communities need us to do today. So here's our focus, and not surprising, our very first focus is on student success. Absolutely job one. I think I just borrowed a Ford commercial there, didn't I? Job one is student success. And when Rob Johnstone was here and stood in the spot and talked, you know, he speaks to 250 colleges. He is a national expert, and he was quite clear that the one thing that colleges that compete for the Aspen Prize, the best community college in the country, and he sits on the board that makes that judgment. You know, the one thing that high impact colleges do is that they help their students create, stay on, and complete a plan. You know, AJ comes to us without a plan, kind of focuses on it, gets his degree, goes to Ohio State, moves on to a better life. So as we help our students on their journey, the focus is always on the what is your plan? Where are you going? How can we help you get there? And that will be, now there are 30 things we can do surrounding that, but that is a good umbrella and focus point to make sure we understand at all times what we're doing. So we are here to help students create, stay on, and complete a plan. That for most of the faculty, staff, and students of the four foci is probably half the time, maybe more. Right? And that's the reality of that. So I say four foci doesn't mean we're cutting up our time 25, 25, 25, 25. The reality is, in this room of most of the, the people who do the hard lifting every day, this is the great bulk of the hard lifting, helping our students. The second focus is an engaged community, engaging with and creating community partnerships. What I wrote here was, my interactions with the community reinforce our need to continually engage the citizens of Northwest Ohio, to ensure that we are meeting their needs and to inform local families of how we can help them use NSCC to have a better life. And I think community engagement, again, I go back to our beginning in the noble enterprise of those days. Community engagement was very much about presence, that we are here and we are letting you know we are here and here's what we do and come visit us. We'd love to help you. Today, community engagement is much, much more about building partnerships. Most nonprofit organizations fully understand, and we are one of them, that we cannot do this alone. We cannot single-handedly strengthen the communities that we live in. We need partners. The example is partnering with Jobs and Family Services. We know very well that most of the reasons why a student stops out of their education has very little to do with the classroom. It has to do with many, many other factors, and partnering with the very organizations that provide those services is critical to keep students on their plan. So understand these partnerships, what was an adventure, and we all kind of did it, and we would get together now and then and talk to each other. It used to be about informing each other what we're doing. To actually meet the needs of our community, we have to partner with P through 12. That there are 10,000 middle school children right now. Put that there. Let's go out to the other end. In another 5, 6, 7, 10 years, up to 30 to 40% of the workforce is going to retire. Who's building that pipeline? And we're right in the middle of that pipeline. And we're not talking a couple hundred students, we're talking thousands of students that have jobs awaiting for them in this area, have to be inspired. Sure, AJ? Inspire, find your passion. We have to inspire students. It's not our job to inspire middle school students, but we should be partnering with the people who do and help do that. Because those students are going to come to us, and then they're going to go to internships, and they're going to go to jobs. So what is a nice and noble enterprise that we are very good at, We will be continually asked to step into multi-organizational partnerships to build the pipeline, because when that generation fully retires in 8 to 10 years, there needs to be a high group of people behind them ready to take the jobs that are in this area. I remind you, community college, no matter why you do it, why you love it, I love John's story. He's like, no matter why you're in the room, it's all about economic mobility. And you know, I'm a liberal arts faculty member, and I love a liberal arts education. It's very important for people to be educated citizens. It's very important to understand the world they live in. At the end of the day, our mission statement is about strengthening communities. And I want to keep us focused on the fact that our communities need us to help them as they change. So there's a sense of urgency to building these partnerships. So community work is great. We're out there, but this focus is going to be very much about building key partnerships that make sure we're reaching large numbers of people so that we have the people we need to keep the companies here. And I was just talking to the Spangler CEO, COO, a little bit about their new acquisition and their candy line. You know, and this is a number that he hit me with, really hit me hard. Only 3% of companies make it from the third to the fourth generation. 3%. And there are many of them in Northwest Ohio. They want to stay here. They don't want to sell and move on. They don't want to do this and move out. They want to remain in our community. So our partnering with them is very, very important. P through 12, us, and industry. That building that clean pipeline, making sure our community stays strong is very, very important. All right, focus, and just to go back to this, I speak with this on a lot of passion, understanding that a whole chunk of my time and some other people around it are going to be connected to it, right? I already said that most people in this room, what's going to be your focus? Student success, right? But at the same time, we will build these partnerships. It will happen. I would say our message, first choice and high quality. We focus on, focus number 3 is on improving our access. And this is very much about looking at the world of access that we built when, and I would say 2 statements, when we assumed students had no other choice and had all the time in the world. And so we built a lot of systems around that. And today we're looking at the fact that students have a lot of choice and not much time. And 80-something% part-time students working full-time, balancing a family. So smoothing our processes to make it easier for our students to complete their plans and creating new access. Cybersecurity. If you look at precision agriculture, you look at agribusiness, you look at the transfer, doing more on the transfer side. So creating new access for students to come here. And lastly, focusing on the actual institution itself. The number 1 dot across all the dots was keeping our momentum going on positive culture. And we're pretty committed to that. And at a future meeting, I will stand in front of all of you and lead you in a cheer of OH and IO, because my poor team lost this Saturday. I know you will enjoy that day. I'll even wear a shirt representing that unnamed institution. But we're having fun together, aren't we? We're having great fun together. And we want to continue that positive movement. And it's twofold. We say, well, it's important for us. We're sitting at the table with company after company after company who are great, high-performing, value-driven employers. And we want to stand with them as equals, as someone who is also a highly performing, value-driven employer who treats its people very well. So these all are together. So a couple of more points, and then we'll close and talk a little bit about the future. So the first is that the foci are connected. I think as we kind of transition from a good organization doing a wonderful job serving a community to kind of seeing what's ahead and kind of focusing in on it, the foci actually do connect. The work in the community connects to the classroom. The work we do internally connects to how we serve our students. The work we do on process, the very work we do on process is also stuff that we teach other companies to do. So the foci connect together, and that's a discipline, a difficult discipline for many organizations. People like to go do their thing and then talk to other people about what they did, and actually integrating things across foci is a hard thing. But I think we're up for the challenge. We're a good team. The second is this is going to require a lot of teamwork. This isn't about more work. This is about more integrated teamwork. And I think we're up for this, but most people in organizational leadership will tell you that teamwork becomes even more vital when you start to focus in on key things that make a big difference for people. And this is one I wanted to spend a little bit of time on. Real change takes time. It's hard to stay disciplined and focused in a society that demands instant everything. However, we have our eye here at NSCC focused on a sustainable future, a future that meets the needs of Northwest Ohio and provides NSCC sustained enrollments. So when I say real change takes time, again, in most leadership literature, that number is 5, 6, 7, or 8 years. And so, our society wants stuff tomorrow. They want to do something that makes a difference tomorrow. Politicians get elected in 2- and 4-year cycles. They have to do stuff now. Right? County commissioners, they're all now. We're going to stay focused on important things, and we're going to do those things. And it's some hard work. But the real fruit of it, when I say the real fruit, reaching 2,000 to 3,000 middle schoolers, taking internships from 180 some that Brad's doing, an incredible job. But what if we said that number was 1,000 internships? You all look at me like you're nuts. No, we can do that. If that's what's important and that's what the community needs, we'll do that. So, graduating at a 15 or 20% higher rate than we do now. We can do those things, but they don't happen tomorrow. They happen by staying focused on what's important today and building a foundation. And over time, 5, 6, 7, and 8, we start to see the wheel turn and things get better. If you listen to the companies in Good to Great, it's always interesting because the public looks at them and goes, wow, this is incredible. You're like this overnight success. And the leaders always shake their head and go, we've been doing this for 15 years. You just now discovered how good we're at it. Right? So we are that institution. We're very good at what we do. I think what I'm asking for today is, can we nudge it to a place that's more integrated, more teamwork, more partnered, internally and externally, so we can make a substantial difference, not because it's fun or we win the Aspirin Prize, because the communities we live in need us to do it. And we know that that change will take time. So, what's our chart for the future? I would put it this way. We can sum our future up in 2 simple acts. Serve our whole area, fulfill our entire mission. That's our future. And I'm really excited about our future. I rest on the 50 years. I took that deep breath. I hope you did. It's like, wow, incredible what we've done. The hard work and the privilege of building on the shoulders of that work. That is great. We see things ahead of us. We want to help our students complete a plan. We want to engage the community in a more intentional way. We want to work on process and access to make sure that our students, we remove all those barriers from our students. And we want to have fun doing it. We do. I do. Hope you do. I love it. At the end of the day, we want to serve the whole area. And part of my eyes when I look at that, I kind of draw a box around Defiance, where I live, move over to Bryant, through Archibald, Wasion, Napoleon, and back to Defiance. And inside that box, which is about 70% of our service area, we are extremely convenient and people love us and we do a great job. When I visit Montpelier and talk to the Rotary, and talk to the economic development people, they kind of tilt their head. It's like, yeah, you're here? Right? And, I visit Paulding regularly. I go to Van Wert. Right? So Paulding and Van Wert represent almost a quarter of our service area, and in our own fact book, because I don't hide the facts, 9% of our enrollment. So we want to find ways to help students in the whole service area get the education they need. Right? Understand? Shake your head in that one. Right? So I say serve the whole area. We do such a fantastic job. We built this place on the 4 counties, right? I literally drive through 3 county lines to come to work every day. Boom! But we're going to have to be pretty focused because we don't have that many people and we don't have a whole lot of money to just go around building things and hiring people. But we need to figure out how we can help people that are past that 30-minute driving boundary of how to come to us and be served by us because they need us. They need us. And the other is fulfill our entire mission. When I say our entire mission, in 1994, we became a state community college, and we've done a really good job of many, many things. I would say if you look at our numbers, there is really ample opportunity for us to be more of a transfer institution. That similar schools, two of the other more rural community colleges in this state, their populations of transfer are closer to 20 to 24%, and ours probably hovers between 6 or 8%. So it's an opportunity for us as we provide clear paths for our students and strong articulations with four-year partners, and we make that clear to our students, I know that we will become more of a transfer institution. So that whole path is going to open up this part that we were given a privilege to serve back in the 90s that I think there's just real room for us to do. Now, that's just one, but I also know that most community colleges let go of agriculture in the 80s because the business model broke. And today, 1 in 8 jobs in Ohio is connected to farming. In Ohio. Right? And none of them are in Cleveland. I know that. Right? They weren't in Cleveland, so a whole lot of them are here. And so when we brought farming community together, agribusiness, precision farming, soil management, these are exciting opportunities that industries in this area need to help with. And there's new industries that we're going to move into, as all community colleges do. And you know, I visited the teachers getting cybersecurity through our NSA grant, and we've got more, an NSF grant in cybersecurity, and this is an area that many schools will venture into. So when I say fulfill our entire mission, I'm pretty clear. This is a focus deal. We're not going to try to be everything to every people, but we do want to try to reach everyone that we serve, and we want to do the things that provide jobs in this area. That's the bottom line of that. So let me finish, and I think that might have been, let's see if I can do this. Here we go. Working together, more students complete plans. More students completed plans mean more families with sustained family wages and lifestyle. Those families contribute to their local communities, right? And those communities become stronger. That's us. That's our snapshot. So if you're wondering why you're helping a student with a mission today to get them through a class that gets them to agree, how does that work? Well, students complete plans. They are part of families with sustained family wages. Those families become stronger contributors to communities, and those communities then stay strong. We have a very high quality of life in Northwest Ohio. And I will say these words very strongly. We want to keep it. So to keep a strong quality of life will require us to partner more and do things a little differently. That's good. We're up for the challenge. I love that. But get the end game. We want to keep the quality of life strong in Northwest Ohio. Educated citizens contributing to their communities with family-sustained wages. That's what we do, and we're darn good at it. All right. Stronger communities and sustained, and where's Dave? I think I threw a picture of this is the, yeah, there you go. I had to get you a picture there, guy. Automatic feed, students love it. So, and this, they're actually the automatic feed students in another place. But I say this to say, we're already doing this. It's a matter of can we do it at a higher scale, and can we partner in different ways to make a bigger impact, because our communities need us. That's what the bottom line is. So, let's do it this way. I'm an audience participation guy. Whenever I say this, everybody gets nervous because I start to ask them questions. But I think I'd like to close this way. All right. Now, I know you're going to chide me because this might sound similar to an institution to which I have been to. But I would like for us to do a cheer this morning. All right? Now, I know you want me to lead you in a cheer. Well, let me lead you in this one as practice. So as practice, let's see, everybody from Todd over would be one group, and everybody over here is group 2. Can you handle this? All right. So group 1, on 3, you will say 2 letters that are born and bred into this state. You would say, and then you will reply. Okay, let's try this as a warm-up. All right. On 3, 1, 2, 3. OH. Oh, that was about equal. One more time. 1, 2, 3. OH. Excellent job. Now it's practice. It's practice. Now here's the real chair. We are NSCC proud. You ready? All right. You ready for this? I want to hear this one. That was a fun football thing. All right. 1, 2, 3. We are NSCC proud. Ooh, one more time. That felt good. I had a little chills back here. One more time. 1, 2, 3. We are NSCC proud. Thank you for the work that you do every day. And together, we will make a real difference here in the lives of our students and in our communities. And with that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you.